So today in our social studies textbook, again, page 19, we are going to read about Virgil Gus Grissom. Does anyone remember who Gus Grissom was? Mary? We barely mentioned him yesterday. It's okay. Or I said Mary. I meant Grace.
He was someone who flew to outer space.
Right, and he was from Indiana. So he's a Hoosier that went into outer space, okay?
Is he still alive?
No. So right next to his name, it says 1926 to 1967. He was born in 1926. He died in 1967. Okay? So in 1961, okay, I gotta move this. My camera is wobbling. All right, there we go. In 1961, Gus Grissom became the second American to fly into space. He was the second American, okay? In 1965, he became the first to do it twice. Gus Grissom just loved to fly. He was only 6 years old when he took his first plane ride with his father. As a boy, Grissom had a strong sense of adventure, and he loved to explore the area around his home in Mitchell. After college, he joined the Air Force. He flew jets in the Korean War. He taught pilots how to fly. Grissom also tested planes for the military. In 1959, the U.S. government chose Grissom to become an astronaut. Later, he wrote, if my country decided that I was one of the better qualified people for this new mission, then I was proud and happy to help out. I guess there was also a spirit of pioneering and adventure involved in the decision. Grissom flew two successful missions into space. In 1967, a fire killed Grissom and two other astronauts at Cape Canaveral in Florida. They had been preparing for a moon flight. So he was only 41 when he died, okay? When he was 35, he went into space, okay? And then 4 years later, so 39, he went in a second time, and he was the first American to fly into space twice, okay? And he was from Indiana. He was from Mitchell, Indiana, okay? So look at the little bio fact, the little tiny picture. Gus Grissom is too short to make his high school basketball team. Later, his height worked in his favor. Early space capsules were too small for anyone taller than 5'11". So, just think about this. You know how if you're short, I know I'm short. So, it kind of isn't always playing in my favor, right? But it worked out for him because the early space capsules, he would have been just the right size. If he had been much taller, he wouldn't have fit, right? All right, look at page 20. Using an elevation map. Elevation. Everyone say elevation.
Elevation.
Is the height of the land above sea level. Elevation is usually measured in feet or meters. At sea level, the elevation is 0 feet or 0 meters. An elevation map shows the height of the land areas. The elevation map on page 21 can help you understand the geography of Indiana. The map uses different colors to show how the elevation changes from one part of Indiana to another. 4 different levels of elevation are indicated by the key on the map on page 21. An elevation map tells you how high above sea level the land in an area is. It can also show the course of rivers. If you know that rivers flow from higher elevation to lower ones, you can use an elevation map to follow the river's course. To use an elevation map, first scan the map, then read the map key. Finally, compare the information in the key with the features shown in the map. Look at the map on 21. Notice how the color changes when your eye moves across the map. So if you look over, you see light green, dark green, a yellowish color, right? On the map, the key shows elevation as blocks of color. To see if any part of Indiana is below sea level, first find the color for 0 feet or 0 meters. So what color is for 0 feet or 0 meters? Grace?
Purple.
Purple. Okay. Do we have any purple on our map? No. So we do not have any that are below it. So you can see that purple is used to show areas that are below sea level. And we see that there is no purple on the map of Indiana. You will see that no part of Indiana is below sea level. Okay? Now find the Wabash River. So everyone find the Wabash River. It goes through the top and it goes all the way down to the bottom. Okay? Trace the Wabash River from the highest point to the lowest point. So, our highest point would be towards the bottom, okay? Or no, our highest point would be towards the top because our higher point is the light green color, right? So it starts at the top right area, and now take your finger and trace it all the way down to the bottom left corner of Indiana. I don't see y'all tracing. Take your finger and trace it. Trace it all the way to the bottom right corner or left corner of Indiana. Good. Remember that water flows from higher elevation to a lower elevation. The area where the Wabash crosses from Ohio into Indiana is in light green. On the map key, this represents an elevation of more than 650 feet. This means that the Wabash enters Indiana at between 650 and 980 feet above sea level. Now trace its path as it flows south to the Ohio River. That's what we just did. You will notice that the colors on the map change from light green to dark green. This means that the river is flowing through areas of lower and lower elevation until it reaches the Ohio River. Okay? So, do not turn the page. I'm going to pass out a page and we are going to look at it together, okay? So those of you on the video, go ahead and get out Read an Elevation Map, page 4 from your packet. Okay, so look at Read an Elevation Map, and the directions say an elevation map shows the elevation of a given area. Read the elevation map and answer the questions that follow. First thing we need to do is look at our key. And in the map in our book, it was color-coded, right? This one is a black and white map, so it is not color-coded per se. But if you look, put it down. You cannot look at it when it's like that. Thank you. When we look, the white with the dots spread out is our lower elevation, right? Mm-hmm. Then we have kind of a gray area and then a black area with white dots. You all see that? Mm-hmm. So they still have a key and a code. It's just not colors per se, okay? So look at number 1. What is the elevation of Gary? First off, we all need to find Gary. When you find it, put your finger on it. In a second, I will tell you guys. Good. It looks like we all are in about the same area. It is in the top left corner, and it says Gary, okay? What is the elevation of Gary? Someone raise your hand. What is the elevation of Gary? Bella.
Can you say the number?
Yep, it's between 0 and what?
9. It's between 0 and...
Look at the feet side. Where does the next section start?
650.
Good. So right there you need to put 0 to 650 feet. Yes.
I have a guess on why it's really low.
Why is it low?
It's really close to Lake Michigan, so it starts to sink down.
Good. It starts to go down because it's near the water, right? So that's a good observation. Charisma? 0 to 650 feet. So everyone look at that's number 1, Keegan. 0 to 650, okay? For number 1. So because everyone look at the key. Do you see how the white with the little dots is where 0 is? But then it goes all the way until 650 feet, right? That's where our new section starts. That's how you know the numbers and how to read it, okay? Make sure you put feet with it because we can measure in feet and meters. So we want to make sure we put feet. Number 2, which lake is located at a higher elevation? Patoga River. So find Patoga River first. It's in the bottom left. And then Lake Wawasee. Lake Wawasee is in the upper middle. So which one is at a higher elevation? Boy Leon?
Lake Wawasee.
Good, Lake Wawasee. So you need to write Lake Wawasee. Lake Wawasee is in the gray section, and Patoka River is in our white section.
How do you spell Wawasee?
It's on your question. It's on question number 2.
It's so big.
Do you see it? Bud, do you see it? Keegan, do you see it? Okay. Now, it says, what rivers meet at Indiana's lowest point? So our lowest point is more in that bottom area. So what 2 rivers meet? We've talked about them a lot. What is the one that gave us our Indiana name, like our Indiana song?
Wabash.
The Wabash. And what does the Wabash lead into? It's the one that borders Indiana and Kentucky.
Ohio.
Good. The Wabash and Ohio rivers. Wabash and Ohio rivers. So you can see the Ohio River following along the bottom, and the Wabash meets. Y'all see that?
Mm.
Good.
And Ohio River.
Mm-hmm. Charisma.
Was it Wabash?
And Ohio. All right, now look at that last question. Which city is at a higher elevation, Bloomington or Evansville? I want you to find Bloomington and put your finger on it. Then take another finger and find Evansville and put a finger on that one. Joseph, let me see on your map. Where's Bloomington and where's elevation? Point at them, please. Or Evansville, not elevation.
It's kind of hard because they both start with E.
No, Bloomington starts with a B.
I don't know. I've been there before.
You said it starts with an E.
No,
Oh, gotcha. I was like, what? Okay. Which one is at a higher elevation? Keegan?
Bloomington.
Good, Bloomington. Bloomington is at a higher elevation. It is in the gray section. So this is how you read an elevation map, okay? Any questions on our map? This is kind of a shorter lesson because sometimes we'll combine lessons like that into one lesson with another start. But today I wanted to kind of give you guys a little bit of an easier one since it's our first social studies unit. Okay? All right.